What's up, guys? Welcome to my December deck profile for Satellars, the deck I'm currently playing. This has been updated to the current format as much as I can. I mean, there hasn't been anything new for it, but I will show you my build. Today I just had a tournament. I got first, played Pepe Magicians, what else did I play? Heroes, surprisingly Heroes, Magician, just the Magician Pendulums, and then some weird like Trap Tricks stun deck. I don't know, it was weird. But yeah, it was just one of the locals, but it's been getting top 5 every time out of my bigger tournament, which is like 20 people. So yeah, anyways, I'm not gonna just babble. Let me get into it. So starting off, we have our 3 copies of Deneb. Obviously, since Rota's at 1, this card needs to be abused as much as possible. Didn't get hit, you know, it's pretty much the best. Your best searcher, you need this to set up your Trevere plays. So yeah. The card that you never want to see right away, but you always need, Altair, 3 copies. You can't limit this. Like, the curse with tellers is you're probably gonna open one of these and just all traps. That's gonna happen sometimes. That's what Skybridge is for. But regardless, it sucks to open with, but you cannot cut this card. It's just, you can't. And one thing that I recently changed up is 3 copies of Unukalhai. I used to run 2. When I ran Serifs, I ran 1. But right now I'm running 3 because of the way I have the build. It's been super consistent. If you open one of these, which is the same chance as the Deneb or Altair, you can get stuff in the grave. And if you have this in a Skybridge, beautiful play. You dump Deneb, Skybridge for Altair, Altair for Deneb, Deneb search whatever you need, and you know, you just plus from there. So 3 copies of that. Vega, 2 copies of Vega. I feel like that's pretty standard in most Teller deck profiles and builds. You don't want this at 3. It's good early game, but later on you can keep splash and reusing it from Altair, and I don't like this at 3. I haven't really seen very many people that run at 3, but I personally don't recommend it. I don't like it, but that's just my opinion on it. I feel like 2 is just perfect, especially because it's, you know, searchable. Last of my SatellarKnights, 1 Alsahm. This one I've noticed is kind of like controversy, or yeah, whatever. I'm not even gonna use that word. I can't speak. Some people use it, some people don't. I like it because of matches where you just need to burn just a little bit, especially when you have Cowboy 2. It's an extra teller, it's an extra target if you've used, because most likely if you're going off on your plays, you've used probably like all of these effects this turn, and just getting an extra 1,000 damage in doesn't sound like much, but when you get 3 of these in a game, that's 3k just for free, and it's kind of a fun little techie card to put in. So I run 1 Alsahm to finish up the teller monsters. I do run a bigger monster lineup than normal, being that I run 1 Thunderking, 1 Garnet for Brilliant, I run Brilliant in this, and 1 Honest for monsters just to get over stuff. And Thunderking, Ryo, and Honest is great, especially if they have to attack to get over it, to get off their searches, like Magician Pendulums. And then they will usually summon something and either destroy it, or they'll attack over it if you don't have, or if you have back row, they'll usually just try to destroy it. But regardless, Honest applies to all these targets and some of your extra deck. I only run it at 1, but it seems to be perfect at 1 for me. I do side it out against certain decks. It is good against Cosmos though. But yeah, this card can be, you know, lifesaver. Moving on to spells. I run the fusion build. Oops, I cannot grab these. I run 3 copies of Brilliant Fusion. The reason for that is because you want to see this as early as possible. Late game, it's not as viable. Can't stress enough. You want this in your hand, because even if you open up just Altair and Brilliant Fusion, you're probably gonna get at least a Trevere Del Toros or even a 4 Attachment 86 going first if they can't stop it. It's a lot easier than you'd think. I run triple just because of that. And another thing that I like is if I get this off and I go into Tsukiyomi, like, if this is the only thing, if I have another copy in my hand, I can just ditch it and I get to draw 2, and it's something that's not going to hurt me. I run the 1 Garnet because it lowers the chances of drawing into it because it's 1 card to draw into. If you draw into Garnet and Brilliant Fusion, it's pretty much dead. It sucks, but it's consistent enough to where it's worth running. I really like it. So 2 copies of that, 2 copies of Instant Fusion. I know the rarity mismatch. Yeah, whatever. I don't know about running it at 3, but running it at 2 seems really nice. Because usually opening this or having it turn 2, depending on what you're doing, is pretty nice. It's only 1,000 life points. You get 2 summons from it. You know, being said Norden doesn't get negated or something. You can go into Del Toros. You know, lots of plays open with this. In this format right now, you need to spam monsters, and this is what does it. Because Magician, Pendulums, Pepes, they get a whole board. The traditional Tellers doesn't work anymore. You can only stop so much, and if you're playing a good player, they will out resource you and still have stuff to work with, because the Pendulum deck is pretty crazy right now, and it's getting even more crazy. So yeah, 2 Instant Fusion. I run 2 Skybridge. 3 is too many. 2, I seem to always get it when I need it, which is awesome. You want to open with this. You always want to open with this. Honestly, any of these opening is good for you, because if you're just summoning Deneb and setting 3 back row, 4 back row, and saying go ahead, you better have really good back row or you just lost. And that's just how it is. It sucks. But yeah, so 2 Skybridge seems to be pretty good. You can get your combos going with it. It's too good not to run, in my opinion. I main deck 2 copies of MST. Reason said, you know, Royal Decrees are still being played. Pendulums, Vanities. You can chain Vanities to something if it's in your hand. It's just really nice. I like it at 2. 3, it's just too much. But, you know, that's what your side deck's for. So, yeah, 2 copies of that. Now, for the last of my spells, we have Soul Charge, Rota, and Raigeki. Raigeki board clear if you're going second, or just, you know, need stuff to get over. The 1 copy of Rota because that's all you're allowed and you need it. And then Soul Charge for those big plays. 5 attach 86, Trevere, Del Toros, whatever you want it to be. It's too good when you have high life points. So that's it for the spell lineup. Description, I'll have the monster spell and trap count, because I didn't post it in the video, so yeah. 3 copies of Alpha. Honestly, you shouldn't run any less than 3. I've seen 2, and it's just there's no reason. Like, even if you open 2 of these and 1 teller or 2 tellers, like, most likely you're gonna be able to use each copy of this. And what's nice about it is if they don't have counter trap speed, you're ending their whole chain. There's nothing they can do about it. And you know, you get to draw from it, plus get monsters in your graveyard. And this is the most, if you have like 2 teller monsters on the field and you have one of these just set with some other back row, like, you can save it for that 1 card that really matters that they need. So I always would say triple Alpha. You know, there's no reason not to play less than that. Moving on, we have 3 copies of Call the Haunted. I need to get my last Ultra. Kind of pisses me off because I hate mismatch. I mean, most people do. I mean, this is pretty standard. I haven't ever seen a SatellarKnight deck with less than 3. Tellers are reusable resources that you just keep spamming, and Call the Haunted does a great job at doing that. I run 3 of these. And I run only 1 copy of Oasis. Now, people can run it at 2. Some don't run it at all. I like it, yes, but you can't use it for 86 because it makes it a worm type, which isn't too big of a deal, but, you know, I've seen a lot of people try doing it where they, you know, they forget. It's really easy to forget sometimes, and you don't realize, because a lot of people, when you're playing against them, they totally forget about that second part, and I've seen people go into 86 with a worm type, and it doesn't work like that because it's not warrior anymore. But yeah, 4 summonings. I mean, I would say bump this up to 2 if you didn't run instant fusion, but since I do, it's more powerful. With it's just, if you run 2 of this, 3 of that, and double instant fusion, it's just too much summoning and not enough negating, because in this format, Cosmos, Magicians, they don't care about your summoning. They will just plow through it all. And if you don't have the traps to stop them from doing their plays, summoning an Altair and getting a Del Toros or Deneb is not going to do you much good. It's just going to stall you little bits of time. So yeah, one of those. This has been bumped down to 2. I used to run 3 copies of the Fiendish Chain. As it was, you know, last format, it was just amazing. But this format with cards that can't be targeted, with some of the new cards you can run as traps, and just with the space of the deck, I like it at 2. I love bouncing it with Trevere, of course, but sometimes 3 isn't the best depending on who you're playing against. I don't know, like, I really like 3, but 2 seems pretty good for me right now. So until anything changes, that's how it's gonna be. 1 Solemn Warning, because, you know, why not why not negate pretty much anything. 1 Grand Horn, because this card is so good right now. During your opponent's main phase, 1 or 2, when they special summon a monster, it's inherent. Keep that in mind, it's only inherent. So Pendulum summons from extra deck, inherent. But activate effects, Call the Haunted, instant fusion, it doesn't negate any of that, so just remember. And they also draw a card, and it ends that main phase. So if they're in main phase 2 while they're doing this, it ends their whole phase when they draw, which is super good. Yeah, I love this card. I have more on the side, but I main the 1 just in case, and it's been pretty clutch. 1 Vanitys, because every deck needs it, pretty much, almost every deck. 1 Timespace, for Cosmos, for Pendulums, for anything that comes out from extra deck, for Tellers, Mirror Match, it's good. I only run 1 because I have way too much cards that cost life points. I have Warning, Instant Fusions, Solemn. Like, I found when I run 2 of these, I'm way too low on life points, and then I end up with this in back row, and it does me more harm to use it than not, and that's when it's a waste of a card. And to round up my main deck, 1 copy of Bottomless. It's just still a really good card. Even if Cosmos chain out from this, whatever comes out gets destroyed and banished anyways, and then they don't get the machine, the ship doesn't get the effect. So you need to run this. It's too good. If it ever bumped up, I would run the maximum copy. I don't care. So yeah, that rounds up the main deck. I know the video's kind of long, but I'm trying to give a little bit of a detailed video because I've been playing this for a few months. Well, actually, a lot longer than that. With this build, anyways. Okay, so starting out, we have 2 copies of Trevere. Best card in your extra deck, besides 5 Attach 86, of course. This card gets around big boards, and if they can't stop the summon, it's too good. Especially with Magician Pendulums, a lot of them don't, unless they have Avian. But if they don't, and you bounce everything back, you pull a card from their hand too, and it has its graveyard effect to summon, as long being said you have material still. And you get to recycle all your resources. It's the best. You cannot run this at 1. It's just, you cannot. You need 2 for the Trevere loop, and you don't need 3 because you'll never run out of this card if you're playing correctly and not getting, you know, completely wrecked. 2 copies of Del Toros. Reason being said is, with the way I have the build set up, you can make this super early, pop itself, and then summon from your deck and just keep things going, especially with Brilliant Fusion with 2 normal summons. Del Toros is super good. And one thing people don't really realize is his top effect. While this is XYZ materials, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when you normal or special summon a monster. And notice it just says a monster. It doesn't say a Teller monster. So say Del Toros, say you get first turn Del Toros, you can literally Because it's gonna die on next turn, I guarantee you. If the opponent's decent, sorry for the unstable camera. If the opponent's decent, they're gonna pop or destroy or battle or do something to Del Toros, so you're not gonna get the pop effect. So if you summon this first turn and you're going first, you pop it, summon Altair from deck, Altair summon Del Toros in defense, and he keeps reusing his special summon, and there's no limit. But what people don't realize about Del Toros is when you have him on the board with any other monsters you go to summon, they can't activate cards or effects. They can't bottomless it, they can't timespace it. You just keep one of these guys chilling there, and the rest of your board is free to go to town. I mean, they can respond to things afterwards, but the actual summon, they cannot. So, and I'm pretty sure that includes a max C. I haven't ever had that happen, but I'm pretty sure because it says cards or, let me see. Yeah, cards or effects while you normal, because when you summon is when they use max C, so I don't think they can actually do that. I mean, they could pitch it at another time, but yeah. I think that's how it works. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong on that because I'm not too sure on the whole max C situation. But yeah. So for the tellers, the main two is a total of 4. 1 emerald because of only one reason is Garnet. I only run the 1 Garnet for consistency, so when you get some tellers in the field, then you can make this, shuffle him back, so you can use your other brilliant fusions and dump more cards. That's like the only reason why I have him in here. Tsukiyomi, best opening play. You know, you just set all your back row, get your summons off. You know, detach material, send your hand. I only use this when I have 1 card in my hand left, and it's something that I want in the grave. Draw 2 more, you got a full back row. It's pretty much GG unless they have something to come back from it, because chances are you're going to out-exhaust them. Omega, people always laugh when I go into this guy. Sorry about that. Because they're like, why would you run Omega? Cosmos is a thing. Dark Hole and Raigeki is pretty crazy in that deck. I mean, Raigeki's in every deck, but I have, I think, 3 or 4 people at my local tournament that play Cosmos, and when I have to go first and I can't make anything better, one thing they're going to do is they're going to open up Dark Hole, they're going to open up Raigeki, and they're going to wipe your field, and they're going to go to town. And with this on the board, they have to get around it and waste their battle phase, because Farm Girl's not getting over this unless they have Honest. They're going to have to go straight into their ship, and that messes up their strategy because Forerunner and Dark Destroyer are the only 2 that can get over it. So that's literally just for that. That's all it's for. And also because there's a Magician Pendulum card that lets you blow up a monster, and if you only have 1 monster, they're gonna go to town on you the same way, and he gets around it because he's unaffected. So I like him. I'm not taking him out. That's my opinion. He's just really good. Keep in mind you do need light monsters. You can only make him with the light monsters. 86, best card in terms of win condition. Only go into him at 4 or 5. 3 if necessary. It really depends who you're playing. If you're playing back row, 3 is nice because he's still unaffected, but you can first turn 4 attach. You can't 5 because you have Seraphinite, so I have 4 attached open hand a lot, and it puts them a turn behind when it comes to summoning. They kind of just have to sit there, and then you try to push damage. This is not an OTK deck. It's hard to do it because of Altair. He limits it. When he summons, he can't. Your other monsters can't attack unless they're tellers, so it hurts. 1 Cairn Gorgon. That's, I don't know if I'm saying that wrong. This is really good against Magician Pendulums because their spell guy targets back row, and you always have back row, and the monster guy targets monsters if they have a monster. MST is a thing against tellers. Like, this card is so amazing. Oh, also Kirlin. This is mainly only for pendulums. They have so many cards that target 1 card that you can always redirect. You got Kirin, you got the not Oaf. I don't know his name. There's one that pops monsters. There's one, I don't know their names. I honestly hate pendulums. And then there's the one that pops back row, and you just redirect it at one of their pendulums, and they get pissed off. But we have good players, so they don't usually do stupid stuff like that. One Castell, some people run it too. You need it in your deck for sure. You need to get rid of floodgates. You need to get rid of things that are just too hard to get over. So one is great. I mean, I bounce it back with Trevere after it's done sometimes, depending on if I have a play where I need to reuse it. It's really easy to reuse your XYZs and your extra deck with this setup. So one Castell mainly. I would run two if I had room, but with the Brilliant and Instant build, your space gets cut up pretty bad. Rounding it up for the XYZs is Gaga Cowboy. I've taken this out before and I regretted it instantly because of sudden death and extra damage pushing. It's just too good not to run. Like, there's some really good combos you can get off. So that rounds it up for the XYZs. And for the last four here, 2 copies of Norden, 2 copies of SatellarKnight. Norden's obviously your instant fusion target. I run 2 of them because I have 2 instant fusion, and you know, you can run 1, but I don't like it because then your other one becomes dead if you can't bounce it back. 2 copies of SatellarKnight. Since I have 3 Brilliant Fusion, it's always nice to have an extra copy just in case you need to use it and dump stuff. This is the one you just summon it in defense with Brilliant. You get to normal summon twice, and that's super good right now, especially in Tellers. It's just really good in a lot of decks right now. So yeah, that's a full main, that's a full extra deck. I do have a side deck included. Before I do that, I just want to mention these 3 cards. I was not running Abyss Dweller in my extra deck or Heroic, and I was running Diamond Crab King for Forerunner because Dark Destroyer can't get over it by means of attack. It can if it pops it, of course, but 3k defense, you know, you can switch it. It was good, but I took that out for sure. Dweller, I've had other outs to Cosmos to where I don't need to make this, and it's kind of a waste sometimes when you can go into Triver anyways. If I have 2 and you just go into Dweller, I'm not going to be able to get over that Dark Destroyer anyways, and I haven't found the need for it at this time. You know, I'm kind of playing around with stuff and I like the way it's at right now. Heroic is really great, but a lot of the times I'm almost always Altairing, and then, oh, I can't attack with this guy. But if I do make it with just like Vega Deneb, Vega Unukalhai or something, it's really nice for getting over Dark Destroyer and super powerful monsters, but didn't find a use for it today especially. So these 3 were cut for these right here. I just switched up a little bit. So that's that. Alright, move on to my side deck. And I don't play the Tolmaeus Pleiades or Constellar Diamond right now. Like I said, I'm just so tight on space, and these seem to all be extremely relevant. There isn't a single card in here that I don't go into. And Tolmaeus and Pleiades aren't that good right now because of targeting, and you're only getting rid of 1 monster. And this format is board spam and win. That's all it is. It's board spam and OTK. And Pleiades is not going to save you at all. Okay, side deck. 1 Mirror Force for any deck that spams monsters, Madolches, all of them. They're all going to attack. If they pop your back row and they leave Mirror Force, they'll just assume they're okay, because Mirror Force is not really as relevant anymore, especially because it's storming. I don't want my opponent to get all their resources back, because I've noticed a lot of people, when they go for a big attack, they don't waste all their resources on XYZs. I mean, if they have a full board of XYZs, then it's perfect for storming, but otherwise they're getting all their resources back, and then that doesn't help me. So 1 Mirror Force. My second copy of Timespace, there have been times where I have sided it and it's come in handy. I just don't main deck 2, it's just too much life points. 1 Lancia, along with 3 copies of Iron Wall. I figure since Cosmos is the biggest thing besides Pendulums right now, I'm reserving 4 spots in my side deck to deal with it. Triple Iron Wall, they're going to expect that. They don't always expect Lancia, but you just keep this in your hand when they make their big boy plays, and you stop them in their tracks. So they do a farm girl on you, and they do the effect to add. You're like, sure, Lancia? And it's like, okay, cool. You added your monster, and now you can't even summon it this turn and go for game. So, yeah. for pendulums, I was main decking 2 of these. I don't do it anymore because you need this right at the start. You need to start out with this card and flip this on their standby, otherwise it's worthless, because once they're set up, and it becomes not as good as it needs to be. I side deck it though against certain decks, but I haven't been doing it as much anymore because I've been running more copies of spells as well. So yeah, I mean, it's still really good, but I was main decking it and I changed my mind on it. It kind of screwed me over in a couple senses. Still a great card though. Flying Sea, believe it or not, Magician Pendulums, they like to go in their extra deck and XYZ a lot, so do that. And for the few amount of people that actually still play Tellers, this card is like super broken for it. I'm the only SatellarKnight player at my locals now. It's like 5 Cosmos, like 7 or 8 Pendulums, and then just some Rogue and scattered stuff. So yeah, that's still a good card. 1 copy of Maxi. I don't have any other Maxis. I'd probably bump it up to 2 and then cut something else. But I only have 1. Super good against a lot of decks right now. If you have these, hold on to them. They're going up in price. It makes sense because it's about board spam, this format. Spell Shattering Arrow. Better than Wavering Eyes. If you have Wavering Eyes for your Pendulum side, don't do it. This blows them up and inflicts 1,000. And it's the same quick play. And it destroys all face-up spells. So that Sky Iris that they play and their Pendulums inflict 1,500 and they go negative. So that's pretty good. And then to round that up, 2 Grand Horns. I put all 3 of them in against Pendulums. Mirror Match Tellers every day. Remember, this card stops extra deck. They summon extra deck, stops it. Pendulum summons an extra deck is like the main thing it stops. Sorry, I'm gonna pause that because I don't know what the heck is playing. Okay. Yeah, anyway, I think that is 15. Let me check because I just redid some things, so I need to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, and 15. Okay, yep. That's my 15 card side deck. Stuff gets sided in a lot, actually. Sorry, I'm recording with one hand. I need to get like an actual video camera instead of just my phone. But yeah, so that is everything. I hope this was a good detailed explanation. If you have any questions, about it, let me know. I really like the way it's set up. It's super consistent. You know, as consistent as Tellers can be. You know, I love SatellarKnights, and I don't think they're dead yet. They're still putting in work for sure, but it's a little harder for them this format with everything. Especially with half my locals copying Patrick Hoban's Magician Pendulums. It's been real fun. But yeah, I hope you guys liked it. This was my recent December. Actually, no, it's January. It's not even December. I'll have to make sure I put January because it's not even December anymore. But yeah, like I said, any questions, let me know. Other than that, you guys have a great day and good luck.